Hello, hello, and welcome to part 6 of building a TARDIS in Blender. And this is going to be a pretty short one before we do a longer one next time. But what we're going to do here today is scuff it up a bit. So if I go into material preview mode of our TARDIS, this is what it should look like at the moment. So we've got the wood grain, we've got kind of scuffs on the sign and on the windows and on the sign up here. But I think the wood is looking a little bit too clean. Now, there's a very, very easy way of just roughing it up a little bit. So if we go into shading, our shading workspace, and then let's click on an object that has the TARDIS vertical wood. And what we're going to do is zoom out a little bit just so we can see what we're doing. We are going to Shift A, search for a noise texture. Just click and drag that in, and then we're going to take our original mapping node from the previous materials and just plug that into the vector. And again, make sure you have Node Wrangler enabled. If you don't, go over to Edit and then Preferences, and under Add-ons, just search for Node Wrangler and just tick it. And now let's just zoom into our noise texture. We are going to Control Shift and click that. So now everything in this window here that has the vertical wood material applied to it now also has this noise texture. So let's just drag that out so we can see what we're doing. Let's increase the scale. Let's make it about 20. So it's all nice and patchy. And then let's increase the detail to about 10. Zoom in. And the roughness, let's bring that up to, yeah, let's do 15. Let's go crazy. Or roughness to 1, sorry. I don't know where I got 15 for. Oh, it's because I think the maximum for the detail is 15. Right. So let's crank the roughness up to its maximum value, and then we're going to Shift A and then search for a color ramp. And let's just drag that after the factor of the noise texture. So now we need to increase the contrast. So let's grab our little black handle, move it across, and we want to make it look quite dusty and dirty. So that would work. Yeah, have a bit of a play around, see how much you want. So I'm going to make it fairly contrasty. Let's drag the white handle in a little bit as well. And then we're going to change this mode where it says linear. We're going to make that into ease. And now we've done that, actually, let's just drag out that black handle a little bit more. Okay. So now what we need to do is mix this texture in with the other texture we created. So the base color is controlled by this mix node over here. So if we Shift D and duplicate that mix node and then drag it after, so now you can see this mix node here is plugged into color A of this mix node here. Now this is where it's going to get a bit confusing. So let's take that noise texture and color ramp we've just created and let's move it all the way up here. There we go. And zoom in, and let's just drag it down a little bit. Okay, so we're going to take the color output of the color ramp and plug it into the factor of this mix node we've just done. So there we are. And then we're going to Control Shift click on this mix node. Wait for it to update. There we are. Now, it doesn't really look that different at the moment, but what effectively we're doing is using this color ramp here as a mask to control where we're going to put all the dust and the grime. So right now it's just set to the same color as our previous mix node, but if we click on that, just drag that up. So now you can see what sort of effect we've created. So this isn't the color I want, but you can see what we're going for. All these kind of little speckly, muddy patches. So let's change color B to kind of a, I don't know, kind of a browny orange, and let's just make it darker, like such. You can be quite subtle with this. You don't want it to be too much, so let's just drag that down, have a little look around. Let's see. Let's just move this material output, and then let's Control Shift click on the Principled BSDF, and wait for it to update. And that's looking pretty good. So if you zoom in, you can see we've got all these different patches, and you can change the color to whatever you want. So I might just darken it a little bit. So if you lighten it, it looks way too much. So let's just make it fairly dark, like so. And because we're using this color ramp up here and this noise texture as a mask, if you change, say, the scale to, make it a smaller number, 5, you get bigger patches, or if you do 1, or if you do, say, 50, you get smaller patches. So I'm going to leave it maybe about 25, but you can play with that as much as you want. Now, at the moment, it's only applied to the vertical wood. So what we need to do is click the noise texture, shift-click the color ramp, and then let's just shift-click this mix node. Right-click and press copy. And then let's just grab an object that we know has the horizontal wood, so this bit here, and just scroll into a nice place. We're going to press Control-V and just paste that in. And then let's just drag the, from the texture coordinates, the object into the vector, like so. Sorry, my mouse is being weird. And let's just move this mix shader and connect that up. So result into color A, and then let's plug this mix shader into the base color. Wait for it to update again, and there we go. Now we've got this grime and dirt all over the TARDIS. Now you can do that as many times as you want. You can just keep duplicating it and changing up the noise textures, plug it into these mix nodes, and basically the more you do, the better it'll look. But it's going to slow Blender down quite a lot. So I'm going to leave it here for the minute. Let's just go back into layout and just have a little zoom around. And having that extra detail, extra grime, extra dirt adds a real sense of realism to it, particularly if you go into cycles, where it's a bit more subtle than Eevee. Maybe it's a little bit dark. Let's just increase the world strength so you can see. Yeah. So now we've got this like thin layer of grime and dust over everything. But this is going to really slow down Blender, because the way that Blender works is it has to calculate the value of every node. So it does a lot of maths every time it does this. So in the next video, what we're going to do is UV unwrap it and then bake the textures. So instead of using multiple noise textures, multiple nodes, it's all just going to be an image texture. But so this is a nice short video, but I'll get working on the UV unwrapping, and I'll see you very, very soon. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.